Cut. Hold on. Next one. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to announce our meeting for today open. I very much warmly welcome you from Saint Petersburg. The spring is arriving, everything is melting. For everyone who does not need to go outside, don't do it. It is very muddy, or make sure you have your very good waterproof shoes with you. I would very much likely not spend a lot of time because we're running behind it and announce our Toastmaster of the day, Anna Soldatova, who is going to guide us through today's meeting. Let us welcome Anna Soldatova with a big round of applause. Anna, over to you.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Mr. President, for that wonderful introduction. Do you hear me well? Fantastic. Okay, hello and very warm welcome for dear fellows and guests. It's my pleasure to be a Toastmaster of the day. And just to clarify, a Toastmaster of the day is a head of ceremony. My role is to guide all of you through the agenda and make sure that the meeting is going smoothly and on time. I will introduce today's speakers, ask for timers reports after speech have concluded, start voting process, and ask for grammarians and general evaluators reports. Another pleasant responsibility of a Toastmaster of the day is the announcement of the theme of the day. Our topic for today is Spring Awakening. Give me a second, please. Yep, I'm ready for Spring Awakening. And let's turn our favorite tracks up louder. Sorry for this mess. Thank you so much. So Blossom Spring is the time for the new beginnings, new resolutions, new romantic adventures, and walking through unsleeping city all day nights. And we definitely need good vibes for all of that. So my proposal is beloved music exchange, to listen to it and inspire each other for the perfect spring. And certainly in the end of the meeting, I will share the club's playlist with all of you. Okay, let's get back to business. And aside from Toastmaster, we have a lot of people who are helping me today. And I would like to present Mr. Alexander Chernov. His favorite song is, give me a sec, Want to Be Free by British Sea Power. Mr. Chernov is our general evaluator for today. And please, Alexander, describe what your role for today and introduce your team with grammarian, a counter, timer, and ballot counter. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not as lovely and lively as you, but let me introduce my simple role. By myself, I look over the meeting and I note if anything goes out of course. And I will be your kind of school teacher. I'll see your mistakes and I'll mark them. In the end, we'll see how it goes. And I have my helpers, my small elves. Maybe they're bigger than me, but anyway. The first one is Mr. Timer. So, please, Rami, can you tell us about Timer and your role as a whole?
Hello. So it is very important for us in life to stick into the time that is assigned for us, especially when we are speaking on stage. So I will be helping you and guiding you to stick to your allotted time. So for each one of us, we have on the speeches a specified amount of minimum and ideal time and the maximum. So when you reach your minimum, I will put you the green light. And this means that you are within your time limit. The yellow light means that you need to start wrapping things up and getting it to a close. And the red light means you need to close immediately as fast as possible because you have exceeded your time. Thank you very much. Back to you, Alexander.
Yeah, thank you, Rami. Always our timer, usual timer, have to be relied on, and I'll trust you as a whole, always. Next one is our usual R counter, the one who counts the mistakes or your crutches that you use in your speeches, but I don't see anyone taking this role. So yeah, today will be easier. Konstantin,
I can do the job.
Okay, we have a volunteer in Russia. I didn't force him, but yeah, Konstantin, tell me about what is it to be an R counter?
R counter. The role of R counter
is a simple one.
So,
yeah,
well, yeah, it's very simple. The main responsibility of R counter is to notice if you have any deviation if you're in your speech, such as if you extensively longer than you supposed to be pronounce the ending of the word, and if you use like phrases like like something that you do not supposed to use. So my role is to make your speech better and to show you to point to your mistakes and for the better. It's just for the better. So guys, don't ashamed to make mistakes, but I will notice it and I will tell you how many of them you made. Back to you, Mr. What is your role? I forgot. Mr. Daniel.
Thank you, Konst. And our last member, but not the least member of our evaluation team, also present here, Mr. Grammarian, with your word, our third teacher.
Thank you very much, Alexander. So I am the grammarian of the day. What an honor it is. I thought long and hard today about a word of the day. I wanted something that was one syllable, if possible, and I wanted something that had some sort of Scandinavian root, and I found it. And so the word of the day today is bloom, which comes from the Old Norse, which I don't know, Alexander, how to pronounce that. Bloom, bloomy, and bloomar. Sorry, could you say that again?
From the left to the right is bloom, bloomy, blomar.
Blomar. Oh, okay, cool. So what the interesting thing about bloom is it's a simple word and it's both a noun and a verb. So when it's used as a noun, it means a blossom or a flower. For instance, the plant produced a single white bloom. The flowering state of something, the roses are in bloom, or a time of full beauty or health. He was 19 in the full bloom of youth. Or it can mean radiance or glowing. She had a healthy bloom in her cheeks. It can also be used as a verb. The roses bloom every few days. And it can mean to become radiant or glowing, color bloomed in her cheeks. So please use the word of the day today. If you do, we'll make a sign that you did, and I'll keep track of that. And I will also pay attention to your grammar and pronunciation if I can. Thank you very much. Back to you, Alexander. Alexander?
Oh, sorry, I'm talking, but nowhere. I have to say that my team is always the best, but unlike me. So I just have to continue the meeting and I give word to our Toastmaster, Anna. So, yeah, we'll return to evaluate this later when it's time.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you so much for introduction of your role and your team. So as my cheeks are blooming, we are ready to start the first part of our meeting, where we are going to listen to prepared speeches. So our first speaker is a person who has lived in more than 9 countries for the last 53 years. Professional speaker and author of 6 books. Today he's going to present a speech reflecting leadership experience. Meet incomparable, exceptional, outstanding Michael Wader and his speech like a chameleon. Michael, we are all ears.
Thank you very much. I'm going to need to screen share. Give me 1 second. 1 second to screen share. Good evening or good afternoon, everyone. Now, I need to do a little bit of explanation before we get started because this speech is not your normal speech. This speech is something that is more advanced. It's level 5, speech 2, and it's going to be 8 to 10 minutes long. Randal is my person who is going to be evaluating me, and he had to receive some information ahead of time so that he could prepare for what we're going to be talking about today. Now, when we talk about this speech that I'm at, you need to understand that the name of the speech is Like a Chameleon, and I'm going to explain to why I think being a good leader is similar to being a chameleon. Again, this is level 5, and it's speech 2. Chameleons are very strange. Just as a chameleon has no one color for their survival, leaders also cannot just use one method to be a good leader. It takes many and they have to adapt, just like the chameleon does. If they're not willing to adapt, they probably won't survive. Now, the criteria for this speech is that I had to be the leader of a group, a team, or an organization, nonprofit or private. And I had to have it for a minimum of 6 months, or otherwise I could not do this speech. So I had 3 months as the president-elect and 9 months as the president of the Rotary Club of Saint Petersburg International from April of 2020 until March of 21 in Rotary. So this is my project. This is the team that I chose to explain about and to tell about. And in order to do that, I needed to send these people what is called a 360-degree feedback. Let me explain that just a little bit. When you have a 360-degree feedback in your organization, you send out questionnaires or survey to people above you and people below you and people on the sides of you, 360 degrees, so that you can get inputs from everybody. So your supervisor is going to give you a score. Your subordinate that works for you is going to give you a score. Likewise, the people that work on the side of you, same level, are going to give you a score. All this has to be compiled, tabulated, and then given to the person who's giving the 360-degree feedback. It's a little bit complicated, but the great thing it does, it gives you a perspective how you're doing as leader with everybody. Because as a leader, you're not only impacting the people below you, it's also fellow leaders on the 2 sides. You know, they follow over in the other department that you have to go talk to once in a while when you need something, or the person in the other department who's coming over and borrowing something from you because they need it. And then your supervisor above is impacted by your performance. So there's a whole 360-degree evaluation for the individual. And that is part of the speech that I'm doing today. It's a requirement. When we sent out the survey, I sent the survey to 6 people. I got 5 of them back, and it is 6 pages long. There are 8 general categories and about 24 questions. Each of these individual questions are supposed to be scored, and they're scored with a score of 1 for developing when you're first starting at it. 2, if it's an emerging level, you're getting accomplished in it, but not well. 3, you are accomplished at it and you're doing it okay. 4, you excel. And 5, you are exemplary, doing very, very well at it. And those are the scores that they had to give to the 24 questions in the survey for the feedback. Now, when they gave me my feedback, we found that out of possible 1 to 5. In the leadership category, I only scored 3.1. Communications 3.6, interpersonal 3.7, teamwork and team building 3.2, problem solving 3.0, motivation 3.7, and prioritization 4.0. Overall, for all the feedback that I got, I had an overall score of 3.5. So that means that I am accomplished, I can do it, but it does not mean I'm doing it excellent, at an excellent level. Excellent level is 4, and I'm not there. I thought I was personally, but it didn't turn out that way. So it's a little bit of a surprise. And we have to be ready for those surprises. You know, it was very interesting to get the feedback, because when I got the feedback from my people, I heard some interesting comments that they wrote. They not only scored, but there's a place for them to make comments. Some people wrote in and said, Michael, you have to watch your temper. Sometimes you lose your temper. Someone else said, Michael, you used to lose your temper, but now you're doing much better. Someone else wrote in there saying, Michael, sometimes you resist changes, but once you do change, you jump in and do it very, very well. And the example they used was this Zoom. When we first got started, I was a little reluctant. Now I'm doing it frequently and doing it well. It's very interesting to get this individual feedback from people. When I look at the point about the team building could be better. I found out from listening to these people that I'm not allowing them to do some things they want to do. And I haven't built the unity of a team together. We have the pieces, but I need to put it together. So myself as a leader, I'm learning from this experience. I'm trying to figure out how to be better. It's not easy, it's complicated, but I can get there. The idea is that I need to get this feedback and go through it. Well, now that I've gone through the feedback, I can get on with the rest of my presentation. The fact that leadership and listening are inseparable. This is something that I have been telling people for a long, long time. And I believe it's absolutely true that if you want to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener. If you're not a good listener, it will not work. Your leadership will suffer if in fact you're not a good listener. You know, it's very strange. People just don't pay attention to these things. They think that if you're a leader and you're giving a position, you can just go in and tell people what to do. Or they think as a leader, you go in and everybody has to listen to you. Well, they got it backwards. As a leader, you are the servant to the people who are providing services or making product for the customer. As leaders, we don't, in fact, serve the first line customer. We don't build the product with our hands and then send it out. Our workers below us do that. And we have to listen to them because they have ideas. They have input. They have information they want to share with us, but we don't share it with each other. They do it among themselves, but we don't listen to them. We have this problem called a wooden ear. We just don't pay attention, and you should. And that's a problem that we're all experiencing. Now, it looks like this chameleon here, he needs to adjust if he wants to live, survive, and get through life. But it's not so easy to do that. He has to be very, very flexible. Just think about yourself. You are a leader put into a leadership position for the first time. Maybe you've never been a leader before. It's your first opportunity. And when you go down to ask questions on the shop floor, do you listen or do you try to tell them what to do? We need to get in the habit of speaking to them, telling them what needs to be done, but don't tell them what to do. Allow them to do some things on their own. And usually their intuition will provide greater results than we could have ever imagined. If you're not listening to people, they will turn off on you as a leader. They will not accept you. They will not follow you. You have to be a better listener. So if you're going to go to the shop floor and talk to people, one of the first things you should do is think about, what do I want to say before I go? You know, ask yourself that question. Let me scratch my head here and think for a few minutes. I'm scratching on purpose. What am I going to think about before I go? Sit down at your desk in your office, write out the question, read it to yourself first. First, read it to yourself so that you understand the question thoroughly. Now, go to the shop floor and ask that question. After you ask the question, what do you need to do as a leader? Put a zipper on your mouth. Close it up. Be quiet. Don't say anything. You're there to try to find the answer because you don't know the answer. So be quiet. Give the worker a chance to think about it and then respond. And when they do respond, make sure you're making eyeball to eyeball contact. Don't be looking at your cell phone. Don't be picking it up and saying, yeah, okay, well, I'm doing this and they're talking to me. Don't do that. That's very, very rude. Pay attention to them. And the third thing you need to do is take some notes, either on your phone or on a piece of paper. Write down a few words, not everything, that they say to you, so that when you go back to your office, you're going to remember. And the fourth thing is also important. The last thing you need to remember is that you, in fact, need to tell them thank you for what they have just told you. If you go through these things, I think that you will find that you're going to have a much better situation and everybody's going to be happy. So leadership and listening are inseparable. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you so much for this, for sharing this wise and valuable all of us in our future challenges. Thank you very much once again. Okay, now let's all welcome Irina Nosova. Her favorite song is Lost Day by Other Lives. And she's going to give a speech being a mentee about the time when being a protege shares the impact and importance of having a mentor. Irina, floor is all yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Can everybody hear me? Can you give me a sign? Yes, thank you very much. Indeed, I'm going to talk about a time when I was a mentee or a protege, in other words. What I'd like to say in the beginning is that the culture of mentorship, I think, is not yet as developed in Russia as it is in some other countries. But we're there, we're getting there, and we see that in companies, we have more and more examples of actually having a mentor for a newcomer or for an amateur or for least experienced workers. I have to say that when I joined Toastmasters, it was a young club. There were not very many members, and there was no mentorship. So I didn't have a mentor when I first came because, well, there were not any, or very few experienced members. So what I am going to talk about is having a professional mentor. Many of you know that I work as a teacher of English, and I've been working as a teacher of English for a long time. So this year, it'll be 10 years of my teaching experience. And, you know, if you have this kind of experience, there's nothing much out there that you can be surprised by, you know, and it's very hard at this point to find a mentor who can actually, well, give you something new. And it was a really difficult task to find a mentor, to find someone very experienced who can still surprise you in your own field, in your own profession. But I was lucky and I found such a mentor. She is a teacher from Prague and she's super experienced. She has her own school. And paradox in this situation is that she's a professional coach and mentor, and she started mentoring me on how to become a language coach. We know that the professions of a coach and a mentor are connected. They are different, but still they are somehow connected. And it's so funny that she mentored me to become a coach and a mentor myself in the future. You know, being a mentee made me realize many different things. first of all, there is room for development always. Even if you have 50 years of experience, there will still be room for development professionally. Another thing that I realized is that if you want to be a successful mentee, you have to have a certain set of skills. The same way as a mentor should be experienced and, you know, neutral, encouraging and supporting, the protege or a mentee has to be, first of all, adaptable with a desire and willingness to learn. A protege has to seek to meet goals to overcome challenges. A protege has to be willing to consider new ideas and suggestions, open to receiving feedback, and well, sometimes we have to teach ourselves to do that, right? Michael mentioned something about receiving 360 degrees feedback in his speech, and yeah, I absolutely agree with this. And you have to be prepared for surprises sometimes. The protege has to be prepared to reach out for guidance, learning, and to ask questions. Again, this is something cultural that not all Russian people are prepared to do, to seek for guidance, to ask for help when you actually need it, and to understand that you actually need guidance. You need to accept that in yourself, inside you. The protege has to, I thought, be also accountable for their own self-growth and development, right? After all, the mentor is just your guide, but the main doer of the action is you, the mentee. Also, to be respectful of mentors' time and boundaries, right? This is kind of a obvious, but still has to be mentioned. And of course, the protege has to be willing to share goals and information further, because one day the protege can become a mentor himself or herself. All in all, you know, once I've heard a very interesting phrase, which I think can suit perfectly my context here. Every writer needs an editor. Even a very good writer, even a very talented and experienced writer needs an editor, because the editor is not just the audience, the third party who can be neutral. This is also a professional, a friend, a person who wishes you well and can support you at every stage. Yeah, so I think it's very similar to the relationship between the mentor and the mentee, right? So this, it's a win-win situation. So if you have a chance to have a mentor and you can check every box under the qualities I've mentioned before, then you are going to progress, you are going to develop, you are going to be a better version of yourself in whatever field you choose. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, Irina. Thank you very much. I really like the educational way of today's meeting. As being a fan of education, I really like your thesis about that there is always room for improvement and development. It's fantastic thought, and I'm really with this statement. Thank you so much once again. Yeah, okay, last but not the least is Alan Akamba. His favorite song is Falling by Alicia Keys. Alan will share with us tribute to his mentor. His speech title is More Than a Mentor. Alan Akamba, welcome.
Hi, Ella. I hope you're fine. I hope your daughter's fine. Please let me know how I can help you prepare for your next speech. That's the message I sent to my mentee as I woke up this morning. And that's something I learned from my mentor. Some time ago, I had a presentation in Toastmasters. I ran the presentation, and after my speech, I sent a message to my evaluator. Hi, Jim, thank you for evaluating me today. Could you send me a copy of the written evaluation? Hi, Alan, sure. I'm a little bit busy at the moment. That was his answer. In the meantime, take a look at the YouTube video recording of the meeting. Sometime later, I got back to Jim and I typed him another message. Hi, Jim, this is a quick reminder about the written evaluation of my speech. And Jim replied, Alan, I never provide written evaluations and I just don't have time for it. Sorry. I was shocked. I was upset and angry. I was disappointed. I didn't know what to do about it because Jim is a distinguished Toastmasters. I thought, how come he never provides written evaluations? I thought he doesn't serve the people to the best of his capabilities. And I thought, frankly, when I evaluate people, I commit and I provide written evaluations. So I decided to seek advice. I turned to my mentor and I sent him a message. Hi, Michael. We need to talk real quick. It's urgent. I need advice. Sure, Alan, let's do it. So we jumped on a WhatsApp call and I recounted the story to Michael. And he told me, you know what, Alan? Let me tell you a story about Buddha. Imagine Buddha said, if you hold a piece of burning coal and you try to shoot someone, to hurt someone with it, guess who gets hurt first? You. He told me, don't be consumed with your anger. Instead, go look at that video, assess yourself, and keep a record of those written assessments since you like doing that. And after all, there's so many Toastmasters clubs around the world. See, that advice was not just a Toastmaster mentor talking to me. Michael provided leadership and even life guidance. So I want to take a moment right now to thank you, Michael Wader, for your relentless support every time I turned to you. Now to you fellow Toastmasters, in closing, I'd like to say, take a moment and reflect how you treat your mentees and think of how you can be more than just a mentor to them, how you can help them become not just a better speaker, but a better person. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much for your speech. It was marvelous. Thank you. Thank you for all the speakers. And now I would like to invite to the stage our timer, Rami. Rami, whose favorite singers are Justin Bieber, who is his Yummy song, and Billie Eilish. Rami, could you tell us how well did we do with the timing today?
So in terms of the timing, there was a mix-up in Michael's speech, but in total, the whole thing I measured is 10 minutes and 34 seconds. The second speech for Irina, it's 6 minutes and 19 seconds, which is like in the middle of how much she needs. And for Alan, it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's also in the middle. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Rami. Thank you so much. Now I invite all of you to vote for the best speaker of today's meeting.
Anna, please let me just briefly interrupt you quickly here. May I just reconvene some stuff? What we would love to do is that everyone will take some 30 seconds. Every 3 speeches will also receive a perfect and personal chat response to his very speech. This is a standard procedure. We should just make sure that everyone has the right to get it. So please, everyone, just get yourself into the chat and write your personal quick idea of the speech you have heard from number 1, Michael Wader, and then number 2, we had Irina, and then also, last but not least, Ellen. Just make sure during the chat that you will not send your quick message to everyone, but just click the very speaker you want to have your feedback provided. We do this offline, and we sometimes forget that, or in technical terms, but we need to make sure that we're doing this, because this is not only the evaluation where you click the box, but always the right for every person to have personal feedback. Just take us 30 seconds to do that. I'm going to do this as well. Good, looking good for me. I think the majority of the people has clicked the button. If you've done so, I can see that throughout the result. That is all right. I'm going to hand over back to Anna, if you want to say some few words.
Thank you, Walter. Just need to add that we are going to have a 10-minute break. Yeah. Fantastic, and you're welcome to have a sip of water, visit bathroom. You could leave us, or you can stay here and join our small talks room, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be back at 14:56.
Yep.
See you.
Okay. Rosanna, are we ready to go? Then I would hand over to Anna Soldatova for now.
Thank you. Okay, we are ready to restart our meeting, and I want to apologize for my fault, as we left over the joke of the day. So I will give a word to the joke master of the day.
Thank you very, very much, Anna. I appreciate that. My joke is very short and very simple, but you have to listen to the words carefully. It's short and simple, but you have to listen to it carefully. Dmitry was driving down the highway very fast on his way to work in his car. And all of a sudden, his cell phone rang. He opened up his cell phone and he saw the message was from his wife. So he said, I should take this. He pressed it, he listened to her, and she said, Dmitry, there's one car on the highway that's driving the wrong way at a high speed. And Dmitry says, no, there's hundreds of them. I hope you got it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the joke of the day. I guess everyone get it. Okay. In the second part of our meeting, everyone will have a chance to participate, and everyone is encouraged to participate. I invite to the stage our table topic master, Walter Schwarz, whose favorite song is La Vida es la Carnival. Walter, please tell us a few words about your role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Mrs. Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Anna. I would want to introduce to all our guests who are with us tonight what the speaking session coming up now is all about. This is a so-called table topics session. A table topic, it is an following structure of 5 to 10 little, quick, short speeches of 1 to 2 minutes you will provide. I will name a topic or a question or a statement. I pick one of you and you can volunteer for it. And for you, the very task is to initially come up with an answer out of the blue. There's not too much thinking involved, but this is a particular training for you, for chit chat, for small talk, for an interview. There is no so much time for you to over prepare, just to learn to have a quick response and an opinion on a very quick question. Okay, now, due to the fact that we have guests with us, all the guests, you are happy to volunteer as well. So just when me asking who is the next one, just raise your hand. And to make sure I pick the right person, please make sure you go to the reaction button and put your hands up, the thumbs up, so I can see who is the one going to be next from me. Okay, so I can see you. Could you follow what I was saying? Just give me a result of your head or a hand or a move. Very good. Perfect.
Can you please revamp it a little bit shorter, but again, because I didn't get it. Sorry.
You didn't get it?
Yeah, I feel myself slow a bit.
Okay. So this session is about 13 minutes, now 12, is for everyone else that you will train. I will come up with some questions. And if you want to participate, just raise your hand as Randal just did. And then I can name Randal and give him a question. Without long thinking, he has 2 minutes of initially spontaneously answer this question without a long preparation work. Okay, cool. Let's just do it. For everyone, you can just wait, not initially, Konstantin, and then you can come up with a third or fourth, so you have a chance to see how it's all starting. All right, who wants to participate? Volunteers first. I see Randal. Randal, you will receive the very first question from me now. What is the best attitude you would wish yourself from your mentor?
The best attitude I would like from my mentor. I think I would like to have a mentor who is curious. I'm not quite sure if curiosity can be considered for this, but this is what comes to my mind. Why would I like to have a mentor who is curious? Because I would like a mentor who would listen to me and probe a bit deeply into how my funny mind works. And by delving deep into the way I think and what I am, be able to find a customized direction, a customized path that I should be following. I know all of us are unique. I tend to think that I'm more unique than a lot of people in the way I think about things and approach things. So I think I would need a mentor who was able to handle that. That's all I can say today. Back to you,
Perfect.
Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Randal. Thank you very much for your very opinion on that. Moving on to the next one. Who is the next person to speak up? I need the reaction button so I can see you. If I don't see any buttons, I'll just pick someone else on myself. So it's not a solution. Good, that sounds good. So let's go with Irina then. Irina, where are you? You just disappeared. No, there we go.
I'm here.
Are you ready? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you and I'm ready.
Brilliant. Perfect. As always, that's how we love it. Dear Irina, I have a question for you. Does it make any difference if your mentor is male or female?
Well, that's a short one. Okay, I would say it doesn't
make... And please explain why.
Okay, doesn't make any difference at all because, well, there is no difference in the way male mentors and female mentors think and can be of help to you, right? There's no difference in that. And if, I don't know, before people could argue with that, we all know that at the beginning, well, right after the foundation, the Toastmaster Club only included male members of the society. Now it's different. We live in a different age and a different time. And time and again, we all saw that both men and women can be leaders, can be mentors, can be good specialists. So it doesn't make any difference at all. So, and actually, if my mentor is the opposite sex, is my mentor is a man, actually that can give me, for example, some useful insight on how men think, for example, as opposed to my female thinking, you know? Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irina. Thanks for sharing. Yes, absolutely true. So the vice versa sex can also provide some so-called Johari window. So there's something we don't see about ourselves, and that gives a a perspective of how we can come across to another person from a different industry, a different sex, a different age. Very good. Perfect. Let's move on. Where are the hands? All right, Michael, is that a hand or is that a clap? You need to elaborate on that.
That's a hand. I don't see anybody else volunteering, so I'm trying to help.
That's very good. But you know that you can't speak for others, so
I understand.
But I'll take it anyway. Dear Michael, do you think age is an issue when it comes for mentorship or not?
How would I know? I'm 17 years old. I just got out of high school. I don't even have a job yet. How can I know what to do? This is absolutely crazy. You know, my father was my mentor when I was younger, my basketball coach when I played sports. My mom helped me be a mentor, was my mentor for cooking. I learned all those things from them. What do I need a mentor for now? You know, I don't know if mentors should be older, mentors should be younger. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. You know, my grandfather is 104, and sometimes he forgets things. I asked for things and he does not give them to me. So I'm not sure he's a good mentor at 104. Maybe he should be a little bit younger to have a mentor. Maybe around, I don't know what's old. You know, old people are what, 40, 45? Those are really old folks. So I think that maybe I would want a mentor in their 40s. That might be helpful for me. But I'm only 17, you know, I don't even know if I'm going to live to be 40. That's such a long, long way in the future. But I think everybody can give me a little bit of advice. Doesn't matter if they're 18, just 1 year older than me, or 40 or 104 like my grandfather. They can give me a little bit of advice, and then I have a choice of either taking that advice or not taking that advice. It's my choice. So I don't think it matters about age, it just matters that I'm going to decide what I want to listen to and what I don't. Mr. Table Topics Master, back to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much for your very statement. And thank you very much for the example showing that not every answer must be right, wrong, or perfect, or it can be humorous, it can be spontaneous. And this is exactly just probably what Michael has demonstrated here. It is your very answer for that. Moving on, I think we can have 2 or 3. I think Valeria wants to say something. Valeria, can you double check if you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Yeah, perfect. That's great that you're asking. I can hear you as well. I have just one question for you. Just give me a sign when you're ready.
Okay.
You ready? Okay, cool. You're just one sign because so I can see it. I have a question for you, and Rami will just time 2 minutes. What would you recommend? Irina has spoken to us today in terms of mentorship and so forth. There was this cross-cultural aspect coming up. The Russians have this thing about mentorship, and maybe they question it, maybe because someone else telling them what to do is not very appealing. So what do you believe? What would be some interesting ways of bringing the Russian culture mentorship to bring it to them a bit more across in various ideas? What do you think would be interesting here or could work? Off you go.
Okay, Irina. I think you are on the good way already, because you are one who is looking for mentorship, and you also can develop this field further in Russia. If you yourself, you take, for example, 3 mentees as yourself, and they then take 3 mentees each, and then it will progressively grow. And in half a year or a year, we will have this topic covered, and then we can proudly say that we have this ourselves, we grow this culture of mentorship in Russia, and then we can all celebrate, make a big party, and you will be our hero as well. Thank you. Back to Walter.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Thank you very much for your recommendations on how to bridge the cross-cultural bridge here and establish mentorship in a positive way also in the Russian culture. Fantastic. What about our Asian friends?
Constantine's got his hand up. Constantine's got his hand up.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, then we have the time, 15, 16, I think we're good to go.
He's
I
been
would,
an Asian for 2 years, so you can assume me as an Asian person.
okay, let's do that. Dear Konstantin, I have a question for you. Due to the fact that everything is more or less about mentorship today, what would you describe as the worst mentee possible for a mentorship?
Okay.
Do you understand the question?
If we are assuming that it is a mentee of myself or mentee of someone at all, fine. Let's imagine. First of all, first things first. Let's imagine a perfect mentee. So we will have a perspective of what can be the worst case scenario. The perfect mentee, it is someone who is striving for knowledge, who is striving for experience, who do not procrastinate all over the time, who is committed to who is very focused, who is committed, who wants to suck up your knowledge, your experience, someone who is very passionate about what he is doing, and who is a very who is accomplisher, a doer, who does things as he said previously. And the worst case scenario is probably the full opposite of what I just said. I just don't want to give you a negative thoughts and words. I am just in a good mood today, so you can figure it out yourself. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Konstantin. Thank you very much for sharing the work and the task, not letting us here sit around. I very much appreciate that. Last but not least, I think we can do one. We have a lot of guests here. I think I recall that some were from Japan, and I don't know if I missed where Azam is from. Hatano, what about you? You want to have a go?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Hatano, I have a question for you. In mentorship or in mentoring, there are always various approaches, but nonetheless, there can be also varieties in quantities. What do you think is a more appropriate approach? Individual coaching or group coaching? Off to you.
Okay. With respect to the quantity of mentorship, and whether I should take personal coaching or group coaching, I think personal coaching or mentoring would be better, because each person is different, and by talking to that person and see the person, communicate with the person, we can tell what sort of good features and aspects the person has and what sort of improvement the person can possibly further take. And it should be advised in a very specific way, not in a generous way, would be more effective. I personally took one coaching by one coach before, about 2 or 3 years ago, and it worked really well. She articulated what my problem is and what sort of direction I should go. And I really appreciate it. And I also took one group coaching once, also a couple of years ago. It was also good, but I think with respect to the quality, the personal coaching worked better on me. And I was happy to find actually that something I myself didn't realize, but she pointed what sort of living I have been living, and she said that it is all correct, even though I myself was not very sure. So I think it's the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayatano. Thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you.
Brilliant, dear ladies and gentlemen, that should be it from us in the table topic section. Thank you very much for everyone participating. It is always a very spontaneous one because you never know what answers are going to be popping up. Now, I think I hand over to Anna Soldatova at this stage.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Thank for all blooming table topics speakers. And now I will kindly ask Rami for the timers report. Before we proceed.
Yes. So everyone was in the timing. We have the whole session is 16 minutes 27 seconds. Maximum is 15 minutes. So it was exceeded. Randal has spoken to 1 minute. Irina spoken 1 minute and 19 seconds. Michael has spoken 1 minute 27 seconds. Valeria has spoken 59 seconds. Konstantin has spoken 1 minute and 28 seconds. I Haitano spoken 2 minutes, right at the end. Thank you. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Rami. And I hope in a second you'll see a link in the chat and you can vote for the best table topics speaker.
Yes, absolutely. Just bear with me a few seconds so I can update the name. And there we go. And the link should go in the chat.
Got it.
Okay, I hope you can all reach the link. Make sure it opens up. Sometimes if it's stuck, try opening up in the incognito window. So no pop-ups or advertisement blockers will block it from popping up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, looking good. I think the majority of the people has voted, and I'm handing over back to the Toastmaster again.
Thank you. By the way, in the chat, you could also find the club's playlist. Be free to use it, to listen to it, and to spend spring happy time with lovely music from our club. Okay, great. We are ready to proceed to the last part of our meeting, evaluation. I would like to give a word for General Evaluator, Mr. Alexander Chernov, to introduce evaluators of today's speakers. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you again. I've seen, I think you've seen me. I think, yeah. So let me say what we're about to do. So we have 3 speeches in the beginning, and those speeches have evaluators. Those who volunteered were asked to evaluate a speech to find the missing points, any mistakes, any lost context, or anything like this. So, but you will see it in action. Also, don't forget to note everything that you liked, because we'll have voting for the best evaluator of the speeches. So, just as we had about table topics, we'll have a voting on the best evaluator. So don't forget about small points and everything that you liked. So the first speech, evaluator of the first speech, our Canadian goose, Randal, welcome in and tell us about your points.
Okay, thank you very much, Alexander. I have a bit of a weak internet connection, so I hope this is all clear. Michael Wader is a speaker well known to us, and those of us who have seen him in action also in our Rotary Club know that Michael loves to talk about leadership. It's his professional forte. And his speech today, like a chameleon, was very much on topic. It's difficult to find points for improvement in Michael's speech because he is such an experienced speaker. Number one, good eye contact. I saw 95% of the time he was looking straight at us. His use of hand gestures is appropriate. It's not excessive. It's suitable. He did this amazing thing with the zipper across the mouth, and he did it twice to reinforce the point, which I thought was brilliant. He did this pointing eyeball to eyeball to make a point. So using the Zoom medium, which is something new for all of us, he's become very adept at using it. He used his voice modulates. He uses pauses appropriately. In his speech, he made very good use of quotations from a few of the people who had submitted reviews to him. So it was, I think, extraordinary. And actually, one more point that was extremely strong, you might have seen how his use of background slides, which is very much a Zoom technique, was ideal because he would show a point and then he would take that slide away so the focus was back on him as you can see him right now. And that is a technique which requires a lot of preparation and practice. And he is delivering the speech while he's controlling that system at the same time, and it was implemented flawlessly. Where was there a room for improvement? Well, there's some confusion about the timing of the speech. I'm still not clear on what should have happened with timing-wise. When I watched the speech, I thought that there was a long introduction to the mechanics of the survey, and I didn't notice that that was something that was supposed to be outside of the actual speech itself. So there was this long introduction, which was really valuable to us because we didn't understand what was we might not understand what is a 360-degree speech, and he clarified that verbally and also by showing slides of what the form looks like. So that was extremely well done. But it wasn't clear that that was supposed to be part A, and then his speech would actually kick into gear. So yeah, so that's what he did. He didn't have a child come and grab him around the neck like this guy just did, which is probably useful, but this could be used for effect. Maybe I planned this, maybe I didn't. Probably I didn't. But I think all of you walked away from this speech understanding that he had some clear message, taking away the clear message that he had to say about leadership and about receiving feedback. Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator of the Day. And thank you, Michael, for making such a terrific speech. Well, no one's bugging me like this. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to lose the moment. So thank you, Randal. Randal and Michael are one of our most experienced members. So it's always good to listen to them because the weight of experience is really in the air, because sometimes I feel like I'm just inexperienced for any role, and I can hear Michael talking and I feel like, yeah, there is so much to see, so much to do. But let's not lose the time that we've lost already. So the second speech was by our beloved English teacher that we didn't have at school, Irene, because my English teacher was, yeah, let's not talk about it. And her evaluator will be Walter, our German president. And Mr. President, I welcome you to the spot and tell us about Irene's speech.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you very much, dear Toastmaster Fellows. It is a pleasure for me to evaluate our very beloved Irina, second speaker of today. And I'm going to kick it off straight away with the structure I tried to provide with the what she did, how she did it, and what can be improved. What was the goal for Irina to do? The very goal for Irina today was to provide the audience an idea of what mentorship is, and also provide the idea of a personal experience in her very life, what she has learned or experienced so far with it. Considering this fact, she has done a very good job in bringing us to her very life, referring to her English lesson experience. Even in her particular area where she is a professional, she made it very clear that there is no end to have more and higher. And every time, no matter how high you go, you'll find someone who can master and still give you very good advice. She made it very clear how she still can improve in terms of the situations which arise. She made it clear that the Russian cross-cultural idea maybe was not ready yet, or has a different approach on mentorship as the Anglo-Saxon world. So she used examples from her own perspective very nicely to show us that there is no black and white approach, and definitely not right or wrong approach. That was very good. I can probably say the same thing in terms of organizational stuff. I am not sure, and we will go into that, in how far an introduction of the idea of the speech she will deliver was playing in favor here, as it was for Michael as well. In our more common particular area here in speaking is you just kick off with delivering your speech and the topic. So that was something you always experience a fraction or a split between, are you explaining what you are going to say? However, you are speaking already to us on the stage, if you want, so in the offline world. So that is something which definitely can be improved. However, we're going to look it up on an organizational level, so don't take it too hard. Apart from that, what I very much like the personal depth you've delivered, and coming to the end, showing what can be done better. I do believe hearing you saying, you know, by trying to emphasize people, you really know what I mean. And this is a crucial point, by people judging how emotionally you pick them up really in their world. So here, I think you'd be the masterclass when you provided one or two other examples of mentorship in other worlds from the audience's perspective, their cultural, we here in our world as well. And then question of, you know, would probably be a little bit obsolete, but I hope you understand what I mean here. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, or General Evaluator.
Yeah, and let's keep it short because Walter is also very experienced, and please do not forget, we'll have a little vote in the end. Yes, it's Russia, but we will have a vote. So yeah, please. The third speech was by Alan Akamba. Is he here, Alan? But okay, his evaluator is Rami Saeed, our timer. So please, Rami, even though I don't know whether Alan here or not, please, I welcome you to evaluate his speech.
Yeah, Alan is here.
Alan, thank you so much for giving the speech. And honestly, I'm very impressed with the prepare time to delivery ratio that you have compared to mine. It takes me 10 times more to prepare for a speech and to deliver something like that so nicely with such low preparation time. This is honestly something that I compliment you for. That's something from my end I would like to add. Now, your primary goal is to connect with the audience. And I feel that you have done that, especially with Michael. Michael was nearly bursting to tears. I was seeing his reactions, his eyebrows were going all over the place. He was covering his eyes at some point. And we as an audience felt this energy through the Zoom, and we connected from that point. And this is something I want to say, a good job for that. I loved your posture, your head, how you were standing, your hands. You were helping to deliver the points with your gestures. So there were no distractions. Everything was clear. Your hands were up. You were standing, and you were in a very safe area there were no distractions. Also, this is good. Your language is clear, very understandable. The structure was very clear, beginning, middle, and end. So I think that in order to challenge yourself in the future, maybe when you're describing a negative experience that you've had, you take a little bit of a more of a positive light view. For example, instead of blaming and putting such negative energy, like I would prefer that someone would, if I mentored someone would look at me in that light, in a more positive way. So how, in what ways did this help you? In what ways can it be better for you? So that's one. Another thing is, in order to connect with us, we connected with you through Michael's reactions. So like if Michael, if you would also relate to us, how can we become better mentors? I felt that this part was a little missing in your speech. You didn't connect us to you that much. It could be much better if you include you as Toastmasters, if you had this experience or something. I felt a little disconnected. So that's something. And yeah, I mean, keep it up, and keep coming to our groups. Thank you. Back to you, Alexander.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just talking to my closed mic again. So what I have to say is that it's time for voting. So please, Walter, I give you a speech once again.
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Spare with me a couple of seconds. Dear all, please look up in the chat. The URL, just freshly being created, will pop up here. And take your seconds to make sure you vote for the right person of your choice. Can you see it? Just give me a reaction if that's working. Okay, thank you very much. Great. Okay.
So, Walter, excuse me, on my behalf of, well, General Evaluator, I made a mistake, so I have to punch myself, but later.
Don't punch anyone, please.
We forgot timer.
That is correct.
Yep.
I think one person still needs to vote nonetheless. I have 13, but we are 14.
You.
There we go. No, it's not me. Now it's looking good. Okay. Good. Very good. Now, sorry for the interruption. Why am I asking? Because sometimes we have the situation as we have now, when we have two people having exactly the same amount of votes. So there will be a quick revote. And give me some seconds to readjust that. All votes are in. I'm going to try to use the very same vote so that you can just revote once again. We have a PUT situation. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. It's going that way. All right. Reset the results. Okay. All right. Now, please, may I ask you to go again and use the very same link, but now if the world is perfect, you should have 2 options to vote for. Please do so. Brilliant. Take your time and make a wise decision for the right person you want to vote for. No manipulation can be discovered here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all votes are in. And I'm handing back over to the General Evaluator. Thank you very much.
yeah, I think it's time for my, yeah, thank you, Walter, for your hard work. And while we are waiting for the results, I'd like to make uh, my own speech about my own evaluation. Yeah, so I will keep it short. There are only several points, and I'll just keep on going. So the timing was kind of off. We started 7 minutes later, and because of it, yeah, all timings are off. And that's a minus. There is also a plus that we were overly enthusiastic. And actually, I don't remember Toastmaster being as enthusiastic about meeting as I've seen today. Anna, that I do not see here. Anna, thank you. I have to say, yeah, thank you for being so enthusiastic, because when I was Toastmaster, I just couldn't keep the energy flowing. But it's really in your blood. But at the same time, it feels like you're just a bit at unease with the role. Something something is off. Something you're a bit nervous, I think. Sometimes we forget you forget moments like joke master, even though, yeah, the role is young and it's forgettable sometimes. But yeah, we should not forget about the structure that I always forget about. And at the same time, some roles were filled at the very last moment. I like this Russian style of, yeah, I'll do it, but at the same time, let's just fill the roles somewhere just before 1 hour before meeting. But it's a case for the next time. I think that's it. It was really good, except for the timing problems. But it's the usual tradition of our Saint Petersburg Club. I think the moment we will not have problems with the timings, I will say that it's not the club I remember. But yeah, as of now, I'd like to give the word to our grammarian, Mr. Randal, for his report.
Thank you, Alexander. My report will be super brief because the grammarian finds that it's difficult to be a grammarian and a speech evaluator. And I noticed today the use of the word was probably the lowest use ever of a word of the day. Anna was the superstar, using it at least 2 times, and Azam, our guest, used it in a chat, so I give her full credit for that to me. And the rest of you disappointed me. We should use our word of the day more often. And I realized actually one thing, that the use of bloom, you can say blooming, and in the UK it has a funny connotation, like he's a blooming idiot. So that's just a sort of aside. So thank you very much. Everybody spoke extremely well today. Nothing glaring popped out and hit me on the head that you need to improve. You're an amazing group speaking a second language. So I only wish someday I can speak that well in Russian. That day is long, far ahead in the future. Thank you very much, Alexander Chernov. Back to you.
Thank you, Randall. If you have any problems with Russian, we can always help you. That's what I can say. Also, Konstantin, you're next. Our counter. And that's that's the harshest report of them all, because we all have these problems. I was always a counter, and I remembered this dreadful feeling of having to tell everyone how many mistakes they made. So yeah, please, Konstantin, help me.
Thank you, Alexander. And let me give you some feedback on how you guys used to use the proper pauses between the words you were telling us today. Michael made only one repeat in his speech. Alexander gave us today 4 achs, 1 1 so. So it's not so bad, Alexander, on your side. Anna Soldatova gave us 4 1 and that's it. I mentioned only 2 in your speech, so pretty well. Rami made 4 achs, 4 and 1. So Walter made 1 1 and 1 once he repeated something, but I don't remember what he repeated. But you are guilty, Walter. Randal said 1 1 that's it. And the champion for today is Irina. She made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ahs, 3 ums.
I'm not surprised.
2 wells, 3 so's. Once she repeated something, and she said, you know how many times? 6. You are guilty for that expression. So keep it up, Irina.
Keep it down, you mean.
Just a nice feedback for you to keep your speech clean. And hopefully you guys don't mind. This feedback is just for your better experience and better presentation of your own. I'm giving back the word back to Alexander, right? Alexander.
Thank you, Konstantin, our judge, jury, and executioner at the same time. And the last but not the least important is timer, because I've seen the red one blinking just way too often. But as I said, it's a tradition. So please, Rami, tell us just a bit more about this strange side of Russian Saint Petersburg Club. Why are the red blinking all the time?
Okay, so in terms of the evaluators, so Randal has spoken above the limit, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Walter above the limit, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. As for me, I've spoken 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Other than that, as you said, all of the comments and nothing to add. Yeah, thank you. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the last parts is the rewards. So please, Walter, as our president, now, oh my God, I should mention that I made a mistake as someone who.
No, don't worry. There is another part, but you can just hand over to Anna, and she will introduce it to us.
Anna, excuse me. I'm just so used to Walter being the Toastmaster. So yeah, Anna.
Thank you.
Take it from me.
Alexander, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me a word. And now I really warm welcome our quiz master for today's meeting. Valeria, please give us some tough challenges.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I don't know if it's going to be tough or not so tough, but we not only speakers, but also listeners. So let's see how good are we in it. So the first one is the easy one, I think. What animal?
Valeria, excuse me for a second. We have some guests. Maybe give yourself 1 or 2 sentences explaining how you're going to run it and how we use the chat.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you, Walter. So I will ask you the questions about our presentations, and you write in the chat your answers, and whoever write the right answer first get a point. And after that, I go with the next question. So let's start. The first questions is what animal did Michael compare a good leader to? And chameleon. Yeah, right. That's right. The next question is what is Irina's job? What she is working as professionally? Yeah, teacher. That's right. English teacher, more precisely. Thank you. Okay, who is Alan's mentor in Toastmasters? Okay, great. Okay, let's go back to Michael then. What was the overall result of Michael's evaluation? 3.5. Perfect. Okay. About Irina, where was Irina's or is Irina's mentor from? Which city? Prague. Right. That's right. Okay. Okay. And I see the red light, so I will stop right there. Thank you, everyone. You have great, remarkable listening skills as well. Good job. And back to Anna.
Thank you, Valeria. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for listening to our speakers. And thank you, everyone, for participation and for answering these really lovely questions. Okay, now we are ready to proceed to the last part of our meeting. And let's celebrate together today's winners. It's our way to encourage speakers, evaluators for future challenges, future improvement, and future success. So I'm more than happy to present the best speaker for today's meeting. Best speaker, Michael Wader. Congratulations. Okay, the best table topic award goes to Michael Wader. Congratulations. Fantastic result, Michael. Super. Okay, and the best evaluator award goes to Walter Schwarz. Congratulations. Okay, just to conclude, thank you very much for participating, listening, watching. Thank you so much. And before I will give word for our president for final couple of words, I just want to wish all of you fantastic, bombastic, romantic spring 2021. Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Anna, thank you very much for hosting our session. Thank you very much for being the Toastmaster of today. It was very refreshing and blooming to see you opening this spring and sharing your spring vibes throughout this group. I would like to mention a couple of words and topics before we close off the meeting officially. First things first, I would very much love to have people who have visited us for the first time, maybe to have 1-2 brief sentences of what was different here, what you are experiencing in your home clubs where you're visiting us from. That would be highly appreciated. Maybe we can start with Ayhatano.
I'm now looking for a club, and I'm not a member of Toastmasters, but it is really, really great. I love this club. Everyone was happy and encouraging and professional, and so it was really blooming. Thank you so much. Спасибо.
Спасибо, с удовольствием. Thank you very much. Ayhatano, we have Minako. You want to give it a go?
Yes, I really enjoyed listening to your speech, and thank you very much. And I hearing your speech. I think Irina, I think she mentioned that in Russian culture, mentoring is not, Russian people are not that ready to mentoring, but I thought maybe Japanese people are not ready yet either. So I thought we can learn a lot today as well. Thank you very much.
So did you understand you're a guest as well, or have you another local club, Toastmaster club you're visiting from?
I'm just a guest. I'm not a member.
Okay, thank you very much for your opinion. Whom did I miss? Erika Tsunakawa?
Okay, thank you for having me today. I'm a member of Basamich Toastmasters Club in Yokohama City, but I'm quite new, so I learned a lot today. Thank you very much. Everyone was like experienced a lot. What different from the Toastmasters Club from my Toastmaster Club is we don't have quiz. And yeah, I think that's it. It's quite similar over there. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Regards to Yokohama. And I think Assam, can you share us which club are you joining us from and what refers here? That would be fantastic. Thank you.
I have never been in another club, and it's so good. I like this club.
Okay, so you're also a guest, never been in a local club before, is that correct?
Yes.
Ah, okay, got it. Good, thank you very much. It's just very much interesting for us if other people are coming and joining us, where they're coming from, and also what they realize works better maybe in their home club, and that's why we love to have the process improvements here. Okay, then it is very interesting for me to say goodbye unless I have forgotten something, and I would love to the team members of our local club to stay here for another 5 to 10 minutes for some internal issues which I would love to announce just briefly. To everyone else, I would love to say thank you for visiting us here in warm Russia, and wish you a very nice day wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, perfect. Dear friends, dear members of the local St. Petersburg Club, I would love to have another 2 to 3 quick questions or topics discussed with you.